sick of doing this show. Hey, everybody. Welcome to the Approximate Podcast. My name's Jamie French, and this is another episode of TGQ&A, the live stream that we do on weekends. Supposed to be Friday. It's migrated to weekends. It'll probably pop up on a Friday every now and again, depending on my temperament. How's everybody doing tonight? Oh, boy. So what we're going to do while I let the chat room propagate on YouTube here is I'm going to bitch. Can you guys let me bitch and moan for a moment? Because I am down in the dumps. Despite what you might think, I am as prone to December as everyone else, and I'm dealing with some shit. And I know the show's not about me, it's TGQ&A. It's all about you guys. You know, this is why the show's here. It's all about addressing your questions and addressing your comments. But I just want to take a little time to vent, if you don't mind, for a second while we let the room kind of build up. And we got plenty of questions and comments to get to. Don't worry. It's going to be a good show. But I just need to... I need to breathe. I need to breathe. It's been a sour month so far. Like a lot of you listening to this show, I'm fucking flat broke. And that sucks. That's always a chore. That causes a lot of stress. You think, oh, Jamie French, you do the porn stuff, and you got this show that you do all the time, and like how, I'm breaking the fourth wall, letting you know how the sausage is made. I'm just as fucked up as everybody listening to this show, everybody that's watching this. But the money comes and goes. That's not the big thing. That's just a temporary. It's just a temporary sigh. It gets better. It's peaks and valleys. But there's just I'm just generally kind of depressed. Chemical imbalance, the weather. It's the whole thing. This whole period just feels like dark bullshit. It just is awful. And then there's look, I'm not trying to make a bunch of drama or anything here. There's personal things going on in my life, like every one of you. I'm trying to. I'm in a weird spot, and maybe you guys can help me, and maybe I can help you if we can create a dialogue here about the thing I'm about to say. Okay. I'm like so many of us dealing with kind of a relationship hassle. Are you? I bet you are. So am I. And it's tough. And I'm trying to quit a person. As much as I love this particular person, over the course of just about 3 years, actually come Christmas, I'm really trying to quit a person that is beyond my ability to help. Someone that I, kind of a broken wing that I took under my wing, and everything that I've done for them, everything that I want for them, it's just come to naught. And I've become a doormat for this person. My positivity and my, hey, nobody's in your corner kind of stance, so I'm going to be in your corner kind of stance, I'm going to be the hero, has just blasted and backfired in my face. And as look, I know I'm being vague, but essentially let me try to tie it into a nicer bow here. I've been interacting with and have been in a relationship with, more or less, that should already tell you everything you need to know right there when I say that. With a person that's very toxic and kind of broken. And as much as we enjoy each other's company, I'm getting the raw end of the deal, and I think it's my fault because I'm trying to save someone who has no interest in being saved, and then that kind of makes me the douche for being so presumptuous as to assume that I could save someone. Trying to mold a toxic person into a good person so that they can be the perfect partner for me because I like them. It's a whole kettle of fish, and I'm pretty sure at this point I really need to man up and wipe my hands of the situation. But it's hard to do because I do really love this person. So I'm dealing with that kind of thing right now. I know that was vague. If you want to ask me specifics or anything, I don't want to air a lot of dirty laundry on the show. That's not the point of this show. I'm just trying to kill some time while we let the room propagate and start to be able to talk to folks on the show with some of my own shit that I'm dealing with. Because why not? This is basically my journal, if I choose it to be. It's my forum. But I don't want to eat up all of your time. This show is mostly for you. It's a little bit of for me, but mostly for you. So that's one of the things I'm going through right now. Again, just generally, there's just this general malaise. And a lot of it's, I'm sure, biological, physiological, has to do with the weather and all these things that we all know about. But it's a shit time of year, and it makes me not want to do shows like this. It's, these shows have to be done, and I made myself put this show together. I was going to skip this show tonight, and for longtime listeners and people that are like really into it, you can tell like the past few shows I've said similar things like, I didn't want to do the show tonight, but I made myself go and do it, or things of that nature. It's just this time of year and where I am in my life, but I'm going to do my very best to make sure that you guys have a voice and that you guys have a forum, and that this is the forum. One of many. There's a lot of podcasts out there. There's a lot of shows out there. But I feel a sense of duty, to make sure that I get on the air and let you guys have a voice. Thinking about the girl that I was talking about previously, I don't know, is there, do I have a Jesus complex? Do I have a savior complex? Because I hear myself saying the things I just said, and it kind of sounds like that. I think I might be broken. But either way, we're going to forge ahead. Broken or not, there is a show to do. And, oh my God, hey, this is perfect. The room is filling up. So let me start to read some of the things that we have in the chat room here on YouTube. And we have plenty of email questions to get to. We have plenty of burner line questions to get to. That's our cell phone line for the show. That's 817-673-3704. You can send us a text, leave us a message, and we can get to you. Hey, if you're listening right now, you can go ahead and do that, and I will answer you on the show. So catch up. So let's see what we got going on in the room right now. Now that I've said my sad spiel. Let's see. Red Fox is in the room right now. Says, hey, boss. Hey, what's up, Red? It says, "Yep, oh dear, we're here for you. Oh, thank you for your support. I appreciate that. Sometimes you have to walk away." This is from Navigatorture, a listener in our chat room. Navigatorture says, "Sometimes you have to walk away." Yeah, when dealing with a toxic person, most times you have to walk away. It's just so hard to do because they got you by the heart, man. And that's worse than having you by the balls. If they have you by the balls, you want to get away. If they have you by the heart, Jesus Christ, you're in for a world of hurt. It's hard to get away. You want them to pull you back in, but you got to walk away. Just walk away. Just walk away. You have to. Mad Max style. Just walk away. That's a movie reference for people that are under the age of 78. Let's see here. Navigatorture says it's not our place to pry. Oh, no. Of course. And I don't expect you. This wasn't. I'm not fishing for questions or compliments or anything like that. I'm just telling you what the fuck I'm up to. I don't expect you guys to. Don't get me wrong. I'm not looking for a pity party. I'm just telling you what I'm up to because right now, as of this date, this is the kind of shit I'm going through. That's all I'm saying. It's the only thing I have to talk about as of this point in time. But that was never meant to try to get you to ask questions or anything. I would never be. That's one of my pet peeves. One of these, what one of my pet peeves is? Those kind of people that you're sitting next to them and they go, I don't know. And then they're silent for a second. And you're sitting there and you got your book. And you look over. And you look back at your book. And they go, oh, God, man, she's just... And you look over. And then you look back at your book. And you know what they're fucking up to. They're making a big hoop-de-doo because instead of saying the thing that they're bothered about, they want you to ask them. They want you to do this. Here's them. Oh, God. Oh, I'm just saying And then here's you. Dude, what's up? What's wrong? And then they go, oh, well, here's a billion things that is going to completely interrupt your life and things you never wanted to know. And please, thank you for giving me attention. Thank you for giving me attention. And attention. A huge pet peeve of mine. I wasn't telling you my sad fuck off story to elicit any kind of questions or anything. That's please know that. But yeah, thank you, Navigatorture, for saying that. I appreciate that. Let's see. We have this is the first time I've seen this in the chat room. This message is held for review. I'm going to just click, just out of morbid curiosity, I'm going to hit show. Let's see what we got here. It's not our place to pry. Yes, I've addressed that. Navigatorcia says seasonal affective disorder sucks. Yes, exactly. That's exactly what I've been talking about this whole time. Seasonal affective disorder. Totally is a real thing. Red Fox is coming in, says a little, not quite sure what that pertains to. I've said a lot of things since I've read your deal, so I'm not sure exactly what that means. But we have another person in the room, Brett Wendell. Hey, Brett, how you doing? Brett says, you look sad and puffy from crying. Been there and done that. It always gets better. Well, you're not, I appreciate you reading into what you see, because that means you're engaged. I haven't been crying. It's been about 8 hours since the last time I've teared up. So maybe you do see it on my face. But yes, it does get better. The life is all peaks and valleys. And so long as you're trying, doesn't matter if you win or not. So long as you're trying, life is going to be an an upward swing on the chart of happiness with peaks and valleys. Right now, I'm going through a valley, and a lot of people right now are going through valleys. But there is going to be an uptick, and in a positive, forward-moving, progressive, upright direction. But thank you for saying that. One of the things when I was 16, one of the best pieces of advice that I ever got from my best friend, who was 2 years my senior. He was 18, and I don't know where he wasn't wise. He just liked to pretend he was wise. I don't know where he got this piece of knowledge or where he got this piece of quote-unquote wisdom. But he said to me, he said, James, it was James at the time. He said, James, I know you're kind of homeless right now. You're going through some things. I know it sucks, and I can't help you. I can't give you any money, and I know your parents hate you and this and that. Okay, you see I'm painting a picture here of adolescence kind of being kicked out of the house. Yeah. But he says to me, know this, James, know this. Nothing is ever as bad as it seems at the time. And that's absolutely true. It's absolutely true. I can think of very few circumstances where that's not the case. I mean, there's always an exception to the rule, but generally, nothing is as ever bad as it seems at the time. So yeah, I totally agree with you, Navigatorture. And okay, so let's move on down the list because I do have emails to get to and the burner line to address. We got a lot of cool questions and a lot of cool things to answer. So let's see. Oh, hey, we got Elira in the room. Hey, Elira, how you doing? I've been getting your emails. I've been checking some things out. Thanks for being here. Really appreciate it. Let's see. Red Fox says Road Warrior. Yes, that is the thing from the Road Warrior. Let's see. Navigatorture says, been thinking of getting an armored car. As you should. As you should. If the Road Warrior doesn't make you want to get an armored car, you're not an alive person, and your opinions don't matter. Red Fox says, it was the Jesus complex bit that I was saying a little to. Oh, yeah, no, okay. Now I get you. So Red Fox earlier in the chat room said a little. I didn't know what that meant. The whole thing about having the Jesus complex and wanting to save folks. Yeah. And Red Fox would know because she's one of the folks I'm trying to goddamn save. She's a toxic person if I've ever seen one. And I gotta save her. Red Fox. Ain't I an ass? We're friends. We're going to stick around. We have differing opinions. But we'll be cool one day. Look, I'm 38. You're in your 20s. By the time I'm 50 and you're 40-something, this will all be a huge joke. Not worried about it. But in the meantime, while I'm still caught up in the minutia and the details of my day-to-day life, yeah, maybe I argue with you a little bit. That's all. Maybe, what's the worst that can happen? I mute you. You block me. Oh, my goodness. I guess that means the world is ended. Love you, Red. So with that out of the way, okay. I'm going to answer one more thing. I just got a thing. It just showed up again on the chat room. It says this message is held for review. I'm going to hit show. And it says, you're a good ass from Navigatorture. Ah, yes, absolutely. Well, I'd like to think that I am, and I'd like to think that I have. So let's go ahead, and I'm going to start with the burner line this week. Here's the TGQ&A part of TGQ&A. So I'm going to start from the top of the list. We do have somebody that just wrote a brand new text. I'll get to them at the end since they're brand new. Last come, first serve, pretty much is, or no, first come, first serve. That's right. No, I have it right. First come, first serve. So old stuff first, and then we'll get to the new stuff. So anyway, here's a text. It says, Jamie, we need to #stop the FCC from ending net neutrality. Oh, wow. A little late to the game, whoever anonymously. I can't speak. Whoever sent me this under false pretenses. No, not false pretenses. Whoever sent me this didn't give a name, but it was one of these text messages that says that we have to stop net neutrality by giving a phone number, sending an email. I did all that. I already did all that a long time ago. And now, as of the date of the show, it's we lost it. We fucking lost it. But this is only the beginning of the fight. Just because we lost it doesn't mean all is lost. There are going to be lawsuits at hand. There are going to be elections coming up in the next year. There's going to be a lot of things happening that can completely render this null. I'm not going to worry about it. It angers me to no end, of course, as it should anybody. But I'm not being apathetic when I say this. I'm just saying that there's more things that are going to be coming into play before we have to get on the street with pitchforks and branding fire. So I'm waiting for the things that I know are about to happen. I'm not just simply not caring because I guess they got away with it, so we just have to deal with it. That's not where I'm coming from. I just know that other things are going to happen, and if we have to take the streets, we'll fucking take the streets. But let's hold on for a second until all the cards are on the table. People mistakenly think that because it was Xing net neutrality was passed, that means that's the end game. No, it's never that simple. So just hold tight. There will be a call to action, okay? But not all the cards are on the table. So just sit tight, okay? Whoever anonymously sent me that. You know what? I need a drink. Who else needs a drink? Got a little wine here. Drink up. Tasty. Can I say it now that I've done that? Anonymously. Perfect. All it takes is a little wine. You see, nothing is ever as bad as it seems at the time. So let's get to the next question on the old burner line here. All right. So that one's out of the way. Make sure I get the right thing. And next question. Let's see here. Hi, Jamie. Question for tonight's show. This is from Albert. Albert, if you're listening, see, we answer questions. It's real. Hi, Jamie. Question for tonight's show. Regular viewers, fans, are pretty familiar with your home. Yeah. Well, I mean, people that watch the show see the corner of my living room that's kind of all plastered with white sheets and this stupid couch that I'm sitting on. But I shoot all my porn and stuff here too. And I shoot all my little promotional photos and stuff for, on Twitter and things like that. People see pretty much. Yeah, I see what you're saying. People pretty much see my house. Says, so will you be putting up a Christmas tree, lights, and decorations at your place? And are you into the whole Christmas crap season deal? ? I bet you and Stephanie would be really cute dressed as elves. Thanks for your time. I love you both. I love both of you girls. P.S. Hi, Stephanie. Albert. I'm not a religious person whatsoever. But I do, just out of tradition, I will do the Christmas thing in my own home if I'm with somebody that also gives a shit. If Stephanie gave a shit about Christmas, yeah, we'd probably buy some decorations. We'd probably get a tree. She doesn't seem to give a shit, so I didn't buy a tree. The person that I gave a big old sob story about at the top of the show, she was into Christmas. And she did want to buy a tree, and that made me want to buy a tree. At that point, it became fun. It was something I could share something with. As arbitrary to me as it was a thing that we could relate upon, and create some memories out of. And so we did, and we had a hell of a time doing it. And like the details of that endeavor belong solely to us. I don't even want to elaborate on them. That's the whole point. That belongs to us. So yeah, there have been times where I have put up Christmas trees, but only in the service of meaning. And in and of itself, a Christmas tree and Christmas as a tradition means nothing to me. It only means something to me if I'm building a memory or a tradition with somebody that I care about. That's when it, bam, okay, we'll do this arbitrary thing, and that's going to mean something because it means something to us. So otherwise, no, I haven't bought a goddamn thing for Christmas. Don't give a shit. Probably won't do anything. Probably will sleep through Christmas, in all honesty. I don't care to ask for gifts or anything like that. I just, it's not my religion. It's not my holiday. It's my tradition, but only if I choose to take part. And the only way I'm going to take part is if I can layer my own meaning onto it. If that meaning is not present, I don't fuck with it. Why would I? So thank you, Albert, for that question. And I will tell Stephanie that you said hi. In fact, I'll do it right here and now. Hey, Stephanie! Albert says hi! There. Proof. So here we go. Here's the next question on the burner line. We have a few more to go before I get to the emails, and we're doing really good. We're at 27 minutes, so we're trucking right along. And I know that you guys are saying stuff to me in the chat room right now, and I it sucks that I'm not answering that stuff, but time and time again, I have to get through these questions, and then towards the end of the show, I will kind of rifle through the things that you guys have been saying, because it's too much to handle. I don't have an engineer or anything or an assistant to help me out with this stuff, so I just got to do one thing at a time. I will every once in a while glance over to the room, but if I don't answer you, don't feel like I'm ignoring you. It's just I have to do the one thing at a time. So we got another question here. It says on the burner line, it says, what do you think or feel is the number one problem facing transgender and wait, whoa, okay. This, the way this is written can mean several different things. Let me read this one word at a time. What do you think or feel is the number problem facing transgender and society? So if I was to interpret that, I would think they mean, what do you think is the number one problem facing transgender in society? And then there's a second part, and it says number one problem being transgender in society. Okay, see, they tried to correct their thing. The number one problem facing transgender individuals in society is just, I think it's plain as day. It's the other factor. In a very short span of time, a lot of progress has been made amongst people under a certain age demographic. I think if you're 40 and younger, you don't give a shit about trans people. It might be a little bit of a novelty, it might be a little bit weird, but by and large, adults don't give a fuck about who's what. Everybody's more interested in their own fucking lives to be able to give a shit about paying attention to what other people are up to. And I think the internet has been amazing at providing a kind of a sense of belonging and community, as it were, if you're into communities, a kind of a safe place where people can feel they can express themselves and get along and meet one another. And because it's novel, like normal people love novel shit. And because a voice was culminated because of the internet and everyone's on the internet, the trans thing became a thing that everybody had to see. And so just by rote, it became just by definition, it had to become normal for everyone. Now, a lot of people, will still feel weirded out about it, but let's get away from the internet for a second and go to day-to-day life. I'm a trans person, if I'm all dolled up and I'm looking and feeling fine, I can go out into the world and nobody fucks with me. I blend right in. Not that I care about blending in, mind you, but I blend right in. And then when I'm like I am today, when I come on the show, well, I don't fucking give a fuck about what I look like. This is about the transference of information, not about what the fuck I look like. I come on the show and I look like the way I do. I still go out into the world, and guess what happens? Nothing happens. I go and buy my groceries. I go down to the fucking corner store, pick up my wine. I go and take an Uber, go down to a fucking concert. I go and I go eat, go entertain somebody. I do the 7 or 8 things that you get to do outside of your own house all the time, just like anybody else. And I'm never fucked with because nobody cares. Why would anyone care? So I don't care. So let me tie this all back to the original question. What is the number one thing, the problem? Well, I don't know that everything that I've said would lead you to believe that there's not a problem. But there is. Of course there is. And it's what I said at the very top of this conversation. It's that sense of other. I don't think there's a specific detail that's fucking with trans folks. I think it's just a kind of general, kind of underlying. You know what I think the worst thing is, honestly, like the way that it manifests itself is a sideways glance. I think a sideways glance is the worst that is facing trans people right now within society. Now, I'm not talking about how the government is fucking with people. I'm talking about people, shit that you actually interact with. Like the worst thing, if we're going to be like really on point, is anything that the current administration is doing that could affect a transgender person's life. We got evil people on top that are backwards and do not care about actual humans. They care about beliefs, thousands of year old beliefs, and everything that those beliefs are tied into. And that's that. Yeah, I think that is effective. But in your day-to-day life, what's affecting trans people is a sideways glance. A little bit of something where like, hey, dude, man, you didn't have to fuck with me like that. Look, I know I'm not like you, but I'm just a person. Could you just look at me like a fucking person for a second? For a second, could you just treat me like a person and not fuck with me? I'm your neighbor, motherfucker. I didn't give you a sideways glance. Why'd you give me a sideways glance? I'm just some fucking strip of flesh on a stick of bone, just like you. Stop fucking with me. I know you got your thoughts in your head. But more often than not, that is a rare occurrence because mostly, like I said in the meat of this conversation, is that most folks aren't paying attention to you. They're worried about being looked at themselves, even when they're 100% quote unquote normal. So I'd like to think, and maybe this is just me being too positive. Maybe I just love the world. But I don't think there's that much of a problem. I don't get fucked with. And I'm as trans as they come. I got a dude face with a fucking sharp brow, like weird fucking cheekbones. Like I'm not perfectly passable, and the world doesn't fuck with me. I go out, I have a firm handshake, and I look people in the eye, and I treat people like people, and the way that I treat people commands that same respect in return. So don't worry about the trans thing. Worry about the people thing. Worry about being the best human you can be. And the trans thing will never matter. I think that's probably the best advice I could give. I never think about being trans. I think about how I interact with individuals as individuals. So I don't know if that completely answered your question, but we're going to get to the last question in this little thread here on the burner line. Okay, we got a multimedia message. And, oh, nope, that's spam. Hold on, that's spam. Okay, I'm going to get to the most brand new message on the burner line. This just came in. Let's see what it says. This is brand new. I didn't get a chance to figure out at all what's going to happen. So this is as new to you as it is to me. Brand new says, I don't know the details, nor do I need to. There are some who refuse help. It's difficult. But it's always hard to leave toxic relationships regardless of your position in it. I know because of what I'm coming from with my ex. It's crap. Okay, so this pertains to the very, very first story I said way back at the top of the podcast. Yeah, no, you're absolutely right. The details are inconsequential. We all wind up with people, and sometimes we are those people, but we all wind up with people that are in what's a good way to put this? They're people that are either in the process of becoming true, fully formed adults. Sometimes that's the case. Or sometimes we wind up with people that, like, they're not necessarily broken, but they're still in a particular stage of development. And you simply happen to meet them at the wrong stage in their development, and it breaks off, and you feel really shitty about it. And then years and years later, they turn out to be fine, upstanding citizens and good for everyone and somebody that you'd want to know. And then if you have the wherewithal to do so, you can become good friends with that person. Maybe even restart what you finished. Who knows? I'm not saying I don't want to put false hope in anybody's head. I'm just saying sometimes we meet people in a certain stage of development where they were not equipped to, give you the kind of relationship you deserved. Sometimes you're that person, and you don't find out until years down the road once you've matured. And you look back and you're like, oh, I was such an asshole. I had this person here that cared about me implicitly. That if I was what I was today back then, I would have had such a good relationship. But I was a dick. And I didn't know. I didn't even know I was a dick. I felt fine. I felt like I was fine. I didn't know I was a dick. And then there are some people that are beyond saving. There are some people that are just, their wiring is simply, they're physiologically are built bad. And no amount of therapy and no amount of caring will help them. The best shot you got with folks like that is pills. And only pills do so much, because all it does is numb the bad wiring. It doesn't fix the bad wiring. So even then, you're still dealing with somebody that's kind of fucked. You're like really fucked. And you can love them, and you can, I don't want to say you pity them. That's not fair. But you have to recognize them for what they are and love them within the scope that requires or that necessitates, and that's all you can do. So thank you for that. We're going to move on to emails. We're 40 minutes in, actually. You know what? we're so close to being done here. Actually, our shows have been hovering around 37 minutes, so we're pretty good. I think instead of answering the emails this week, I'm going to save them for next week and let you guys kind of pile on and get some more emails coming in and send some more texts. Because I don't want to burn up all of our material right now on this show. What I would like to do is take the time to address the room, because you guys have been writing ferociously. So why don't I do that instead of address? And it sucks. I want to address the emails because we got some really cool emails going on. And I actually have props set aside to address some of the emails. But let's save that for next week. And let me answer you guys in the chat room right now. So let me just back up a little bit in the chat room. And here we go. I'm going to start with Red Fox. I'm just going to jump right in. Before I get to Red Fox, let me address a person in the room named Alex Tail. Says, "Hi, Jamie." Bunch of exclamation points. "Hi, Alex." Bunch of exclamation points. Thank you for being on the show. Thank you for joining in. And then I'm going to skip right on down to Red Fox that says, "Worst things that happen with trans people in real life, to be honest, maybe the occasional side glance based Jamie. At the same time, though, be glad you've never pointed out to be TERF''S. They scary." Okay, I'm not sure exactly what that means. Go ahead and write it in long form, because I want to understand what you're trying to tell me here. While she's working on that, I'm going to say Alex Tail says, "Treating people like people is a problem we all have as a society." I know. Especially since we are spending so much time in our bedrooms and our living rooms in front of a screen. We're not built for the kind of amazing technology that we have. The amazing technology that we have is really built for the smartest and the brightest, the very same people that build the technology. It's disseminated amongst all of us cretins, and we find a way to fuck it up, and we screw it up. We shelter ourselves, and we create these kind of what do they call them? There was a buzzword for this, but we shelter ourselves, and we exclude ourselves from the world, and by way of internet, we only pay attention to the things that we like, and we block everything else out, and we think we have this all this positive reinforcement for the things that we're very specifically into. We essentially, what we do as idiots that aren't smart enough to handle technology, which is most of us, what we essentially do is we inflict our own kind of arrested development. That's exactly what we do. We inflict arrested development upon ourselves because we're not able to handle the kind of technology that's being sold to us. We're so engaged in the flashy lights that we'll pay any amount of money to get them without realizing the ramifications of the very powerful tool in which we have. So, I get you there. I'm every bit as a moron as anybody else. Anybody that you're fighting with online, I'm the same kind of douchebag, but I'm trying to be self-aware about it. Let's see here. What else do we got? We got another person in the room called, let's see. Oh, man, you guys are blowing it up. Where do I start? People's like problem we have as a society. Okay. So the next question was by Brett Wendell. 90% of people don't care. The problem is that 75% of people are worried about what their religion tells them. That was germane to something I was talking about 20 minutes ago. But thank you for posting that. It will make sense for people that are listening to the show in the future, where you are now listening in the future. Navigatorture says, I get the feeling in almost everything I do. Oh, I get that feeling in almost everything I do. Okay, I see what you're saying. Again, something that relates back to a past thing that I said. Hey, there's somebody new in the room that name I'm not familiar with. Columbus Marconi. Is it a tramp? Is that a male or female? Oh, well, I see. Oh, I get it. Okay, Columbus, hey, whatever makes you hard, dude. If you want me to be male, hey, I'm a fucking male. If you want me to be female, fucking female. If you want me to be somewhere in between, so long as your dick is hard and you're jerking off right now angrily, that's what I am. I'm whatever you need me to be, baby. Whatever you need me to be. And I look, I know, did that sound like I was being superfluous? No, honey. You don't know this show from Adam. You're here. I'm whatever you need me to be, baby. Whatever you need. Come on, just tell mama. Tell daddy. Tell mama, daddy. Tell grandpa. Tell auntie. Tell my tit. Tell my dick. Tell me. What do you want, honey? Come on. Okay, so the next question is, Navigatorture, another show or hide. I'm going to show. And it says, oh, no, that wasn't from Navigatorture. That was from our friend Columbus. Says, ugly trap. Oh, well, okay, hey, them's the breaks. Can't please all the people all the time. Elira, Elliot says, Columbus, find another spot to troll. It won't work here. Nah, not really. It doesn't work here. I'm very old, and I'm impervious. Oh, no. You know what? I'm going to make a new shirt from a past episode, a little thing that I've noticed other people applying it to other podcasts, and I'm very happy to say that the term unfuckwithable is a thing now. Unfuckwithable is a thing, so I'm going to make some shirts for that you can buy, and you can wear the Approximate Podcast shirt that says unfuckwithable. Columbus, late to the game, everyone here is unfuckwithable. So, next thing is, yeah. I'm going to show the thing. Oh, there's another one by Columbus. Says old, ugly, and abnormal. That's exactly what we specialize here in, or specialize in here. So Columbus, I'm glad that you're a part of the show, and we always accept new fans. I'm glad you could be a fan of the show. And with that out of the way, it looks like, okay. So it looks like it's time to play us out with a song. So here we go. Oh, Navigatorture says, I bet Columbus is married and can't face to tell his wife he has Grindr on his phone. Oh, you know what? You don't look. Eventually, folks like Columbus, they'll come around. You don't have to attack or anything, Columbus. He deserves our pity, not our attack. We don't need to attack a guy like this. We need to pity him and welcome him into the fold. He needs to know that there's friends here. The reason why there's people like that is because they don't have friends. They came up, these are the kind of people that didn't have hugs growing up. These are the kind of people that had their children of divorce. They have really shitty upbringings. Their dad beat them. They were probably molested at some point, and they're probably they're much of the trolls that you find in communities like this are exactly like the kind of person I described about 30 minutes ago, where their wiring is wrong. So all they know is, and all they can know is anger, because there's a dopamine deficiency in the back of their brain. And the only way that they can, they don't have the wherewithal to work hard, to make friendships, to understand what it is to be a contributing member of society. But they still need that dopamine rush like everybody else does. We all pretty much get it in a very healthy fashion. But the trolls of the world can only get it by doing the most aggressive base thing. They have to rely on their lizard brain to get it, and that is to create anger and chaos. Because anger and chaos is it's like immediate. It's the only thing that can release a burst of pleasure and meaningfulness in a person like that's life, because they aren't equipped to do anything else. So don't lash out at a troll. Hug a troll. Always hug a troll. Because it's all they got. Nobody hugged them when they were kids. It's sad. It's a sad thing. And if they come around, they come around. And then, you make a new friend. And if they don't, well, they're the ones that wind up sad. We're the ones that wind up, being friends, as we always have, and moving forward and having better conversations and, enjoying the world. We're only here for 70 years. A troll is going to die angry and alone. We get to do this. We get to have fun. So don't admonish him. Just let him say whatever he has to say, and know that he has friends. Know that while he's here in this room, we'll accept him. So Columbus, is that your name? Yeah. Columbus, I accept you. Say whatever you want. I'll always love you, buddy. I'll always love you. So let's see here. We got Navigator says, oh, I'm sorry. I skipped back. Elira says, life sucks. Oh, hold on. Life sucks when you have underlying homosexual tendencies. Okay, now, I don't want to, guys. I don't want to read any text that admonishes Columbus. We're gonna take it the other way. We're gonna let him know that it's okay for him to be here. Columbus, whatever you have to say, buddy, it's okay for you to be here. We love you. We love you. And with that out of the way, I'm going to play us out with a little song. I'm going to dedicate it to Columbus. Attention is a very hard thing to get. When your mom didn't love you, and your dad, when your dad hit you, and when your uncle touched you, you can made to be feeling really small, man. You can be made to feel really small, really small. So how do you get love and attention? Well, here's what you do. You get on the Approximate podcast, and you go to TGQ&A. We all love you here, baby. Oh, Columbus. TGQ&A. We all love you here at TGQ&A. All right, everybody. Good night. All right, we'll see you later.